Hello and welcome to our penultimate tutorial on how to answer some of the Geo assessment style questions on the 11 Plus paper. Once again, my name is Peter Gawley and I run Head Start 11 Plus Tuition in Aylesbury, and today we're going to be looking at the complete the pair questions. So what you're going to be given in these questions is on the left hand side you're going to have an image, then there's going to be an arrow, and then there's another image, then you have a colon, and then you have an image and an arrow next to that. Essentially what you have on the left hand side before the colon is an image that transfers to another image. Now in this example here we can see our shape on the left has rotated or mirror reflected onto the shape on the right. So we then have our image, which is the one with the kind of tetra shape in the top corner and the black square in the bottom right. So we would need to find an answer on the right hand side that is the mirror image or reflection of our image on the left. Now I know there's lots going on in these questions. They are the hardest ones to get your head round, but they're actually the easiest ones to work out once you figure out what you're trying to do. So hopefully I'll talk you through these next few slides where it should hopefully become relatively simple. But essentially, whatever you've had to do to transfer your image on the left to the one on the right, you do the same with your image to give you the answer. So for example, if our image on the left was black and it had transferred to white, that's all that happened. So it had gone from black to white and we had a black image, we would be trying to find the exact same image in white. Okay, so first example, we've got the snaps in the corner, just as a reminder. So our shape, number, angle, pattern and size, just so we know what we've got to look through. Now this one, I don't need to talk you through the elimination method here. I know we've said the elimination method is vitally important, and it is to all of the questions, and you can utilize it in these questions. I'll show you how moving forward. But for this one, we actually don't need to because the answer is quite simple. So on the left-hand side, we have a square, so a four-sided shape, and that's turned into a pentagon, so a five-sided shape. Then we are given a triangle. So we need to find something that's happened from the first shape to the second shape, from our square to our pentagon, and then continue that pattern from our triangle to get the answer. So on our snaps on the right hand side, we're looking for number. So we're looking at n here, we're looking at number of sides. So our square has 4 sides and our pentagon has 5 sides. So that means we need to increase the number of sides on our shape to 4 because a triangle has 3 sides, and the only answer option we have here that has 4-sided shape is E. So example 2, I'm going to talk you more through how we utilize the elimination method here. So I've chosen a slightly more challenging question, but it's still one which is relatively straightforward. But instead of there being only one thing to look for, as we had in example 1, which was a number, well, there's actually going to be 2 things we need to consider in this image, and it is actually the color and the orientation. So firstly, the color. So we can see that our shape on the left-hand side, the larger shape has maintained the same color, so they're both white, but the smaller interior shape has changed from black to white as we've moved from the right to the left. Now, because our image has a black key in the middle, we know that our key in the middle, the small shape, is going to have to be white. So we can eliminate A and C. Then all we need to look for is the orientation. So which way up do we need our key to be facing? Now we can see that our image on the left has turned 90 degrees to the right to turn into our shape on the right. So if we follow that pattern and we turn our key 90 degrees to the right, we would end up with the image in B, which means we can get rid of D and E. Now the reason the answer is B and not E is you can see that the small triangle on the left-hand side of the first image has not changed its orientation at all. And our small key on the inside of our larger key, if that did not change its orientation, it would look like B. So our answer here is going to be B. So in our final example, I've chosen a very tough question. So just to indicate that even more challenging questions, you can answer them using the elimination method. So there's a lot going on with these images, but if we break it down one at a time, we should be able to find the correct answer. So firstly, we can see that the black circle at the top of the image has moved to the bottom and turned white. So using this pattern, we would expect to find a black square at the top of our image as it would have moved from the bottom to the top, and it would have moved from white to black. So that means we can eliminate C and B, because B's got the box at the bottom and C is grey. So next, if we look at the colour of our shapes, we can see the inside colour, black, has become the outside colour, and then all of the other colours have moved down in one circle. So following this same pattern with our shape, we would expect to find a white outline with a black interior, which means we can eliminate D. Now we're left with two answer options. Now our two answer options look very, very similar. The interior shape is very similar. The only real difference is the plus sign and the cross sign that we have. A has a plus in the top right and a cross at the bottom, and E has the cross at the top right and a plus sign at the bottom left. So what we do is we go all the way back to our image on the left hand side with our circles, our kind of bow and arrow board, and we can see that the cross at the top and has a plus sign at the bottom on the left, that transfers to a plus sign at the top and a cross at the bottom. So what we need to do is do the opposite of what we've got in our image. At the minute we have the cross sign at the top and the plus sign at the bottom, so we need our plus sign at the top and our cross at the bottom, which means we can eliminate E. And that leaves us with the correct answer of A. So hopefully you can see in this example that even quite a complex question, where we've had to use quite a few of the SNAPS principles, you can still answer it, and using the elimination method is perfect. It's the only real way that you can answer the complete the pair questions in the time and with the accuracy that is required. In summary, again, you're going to be so bored of this. Utilize the elimination methods and utilize the SNAPS. Those are the two ways that you're going to be able to answer 11 plus questions in the time that you need. Okay, thank you very much for listening to this tutorial. I hope it has been an insight into you into answering complete the pair questions. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the complete the pair questions, they are the hardest one to get your head around initially in terms of what you're trying to find out, but they're often the easiest ones to find the answers for, and especially that question I showed you for example 3, that's one of the harder questions you'll get on the 11 plus relating to complete the pair questions, and by using that elimination method we actually were able to answer it not really simply, but by using logic and deductive reasoning we were able to find the correct answer. So thank you very much for listening to this tutorial, and please tune in for the next one, which is codes.